Okay. Thank you, sir.
Please go ahead.
So basically, this pediatric eye disease investigator group is a clinical network of pediatric ophthalmologists and ophthalmologists, which was funded by National Eye Institute to conduct clinical research studies related to pediatric eye conditions. And majority of the pediatric studies have focused on evaluating the comparative effectiveness of different amblyopia treatment regimens for children and adults, and they are known as amblyopia treatment studies, and the results have dramatically changed amblyopia clinical practice pattern for many eye care providers. So basically, one of the important study was ATS5, and it was aimed to evaluate effectiveness of refractive correction in moderate amblyopia, and they concluded amblyopia resolved in 27% of the patients, and improvement of more than 2 lines was seen in 77% of the patients with refractive correction only within 15 weeks of wearing of the glasses. So what is the clinical implication of this? Basically, the clinical implication of this study is the first line of therapy in amblyopia treatment is refractive correction alone for young children, and optical treatment effects should be evaluated at a follow-up interval of 6 to 8 weeks until improvement in amblyopic eye visual acuity plateaus. So additional treatment with patching or atropine may be necessary if visual acuity improvement with spectacles alone is incomplete. So basically, children who need additional amblyopia treatment after improved visual acuity from an optical treatment will have better amblyopic eye visual acuity at the start of the next treatment phase, which can result in less treatment burden and better compliance. And some children may not need additional amblyopia treatment beyond optical corrections. So we have done a thesis at our center, and in that we found with refractive correction alone, more than 2 lines of improvement in visual acuity was seen in only 16.67% of the patients, and possible reasons for this low ratio may be because most of the patients who comes to our hospital are the poor, so cost of specs will be could be a cause. Uncooperative attitude of the children, late reporting, and stigma of wearing specs might be possible reasons. So then ATS1 was conducted, in which aim was to compare patching versus atropine penalization for treatment of moderate amblyopia in children of 3 to 7 years of age, and they concluded both are appropriate modality for initial treatment of moderate amblyopia, and the conclusion is atropine penalization is effective alternative therapy in treatment of amblyopia. Then another study was done to compare daily atropine versus weekend atropine in treatment of moderate amblyopia, and they concluded moderate atropine produces an improvement in visual acuity, which is similar to daily atropine. Then another study was there to compare weekend atropine augmented by a plano lens with weekend atropine alone for moderate amblyopia, and they concluded augmentation of weekend atropine with a plano lens does not substantially improve visual acuity in amblyopic eye. Then another study was done to compare the patching with atropine eye drops in treatment of moderate amblyopia, and they concluded atropine and patching achieved similar results among older children with unilateral amblyopia. So what are the clinical implications of these studies? So basically, clinical implication is atropine penalization has similar treatment effect as 2 and 6 hours of prescribed patching. Thus, it can be considered for as the first line amblyopia treatment for patching or for patching failure cases. Daily atropine administration is not necessary. A twice per week schedule is also effective, and there is no reason to believe that atropine needs to be administered only on week and days or days that needs to be sequential. So weekend atropine penalization has shown to be effective in treating both moderate and severe amblyopia, and reduced atropine administration frequency will likely lead to improved compliance and parental satisfaction with treatment. Then another study was done that was regarding to evaluate combined patching and atropine for residual amblyopia, and they concluded amblyopic eye visual acuity improved similarly in both groups, and it was suggestive that there is no additional benefit of combined treatment in residual amblyopia. Then ATS13 was done, in which non-randomized prospective trial of glasses alone for strabismic and anisometropic amblyopia was done, and they concluded treatment effect was greater for strabismic amblyopia. Then augmenting atropine, this is ongoing study and the results have not been published. So what are the drawbacks of ATS? We have to keep in mind that the strict inclusion criteria hampered the study by including a limited number of patients. Methodology was strict, thereby making the results subject to many questions. Ethnic variation to treatment always remains a factor, so results cannot be generalized to other countries. Then, is atropine safe in tropical countries? And compliance was not monitored objectively in PEDIC studies, therefore it makes harder to interpret the results. There is no shortcut or substitute for occlusion in amblyopia therapy. However, variability exists in number of hours prescribed to treat amblyopic patients. Then in ATS 2A and 2B, duration of patching, full-time patching was compared with 6 hours patching in severe amblyopia, and they concluded there is similar improvement in both the groups. And in ATS 2B, 2 hours patching was compared with 6 hours patching in moderate amblyopia, and they concluded there is similar improvement in both the groups. So it is noted that prescribing greater hours of patching did not seem to have a significant beneficial effect in first 4 months of the treatment, and it was also noted that hours of patching did not affect the rate of improvement. And in PEDIC study, treatment was changed only if number or limited improvement occurred at 6 weeks, and individual variability might occur in response to the treatment. So what are the clinical implications? Prior to PEDIC trial, full-time occlusion was commonly recommended in treatment of amblyopia, and now the implication is full-time patching is not always required for successful treatment of amblyopia. Prescribing lesser amount of patching may promote better overall compliance with treatment, and when patching is prescribed, it is reasonable to prescribe 2 hours of daily patching for moderate amblyopia and 6 hours of patching for severe amblyopia. Some children with severe amblyopia will respond to as little as 2 hours of patching, and in young children, use an adhesive patch should be strongly considered so that peaking is less likely to occur. Initiating treatment before the patient is 5-year-old will yield greater improvement and stability of visual acuity compared to those in which treatment was initiated from 7 to 17 years of age. More studies are required to assess effectiveness of patching of 2 hours daily versus 6 hours daily for severe amblyopia. There is no consensus over duration of patching. Different authors have recommended a different duration of patching, and major cause of failure is poor compliance. And recent trends are in favor of part-time patching. Then, is there any age bar to treat amblyopia, or whether amblyopia can be successfully treated in older age groups? ATS 3 was conducted, and they concluded treatment can improve visual acuity in even older children. Then recurrence of amblyopia, because majority of the recurrences they are seen in children of less than 8 years old, they occur within 3 months after cessation of treatment. So early follow-up is critical, and patching dose should be gradually tapered rather than stopping it abruptly. Then near visual activities, ATS 6 was conducted to determine whether performing near activities while patching for amblyopia enhances improvement in visual acuity, and conclusion was performing common near activities does not improve visual outcome in treatment of amblyopia. However, there are a lot of other studies which are contrary to recommendations of ATS 6. In cases of residual amblyopia, changing the treatment modality, patching to atropine or changing atropine to patching can be considered. Then a pilot study of levodopa as a treatment for residual amblyopia, and they suggested levodopa carbidopa therapy for residual amblyopia in older children is well tolerated and may improve the visual acuity. PEDIC have shown certain treatment modalities don't work, and levodopa has been used for resistant amblyopia for years. However, the most recent study found no improvement of amblyopia through use of levodopa, and in reference to levodopa as an adjuvant therapy for treatment of amblyopia, it should persuade us that it is time to move on 25 years of study has not produced a convincing body of data to justify its clinical use as it has been used in treatment of amblyopia. So basically, we have done a study in which we have found that it can be used as an adjuvant therapy. Then there is a lot of interest regarding effectiveness of 1 hour daily binocular games versus patching in treatment of amblyopia. However, this binocular iPad treatment was not as good as 2 hours of prescribed daily patching as per PEDIC studies. Then another study is going on in which this ATS-18 is broken into 2 arms. A non-inferiority study will compare effectiveness of 1 hour per day of binocular game with 2 hours of patching in children of 5 to 13 years, and a superiority study will compare effectiveness of 1 hour per day binocular game with 2 hours per day patching in patient of 13 to 17 years of age. Then another study is going regarding excimer laser for anisometropic amblyopia. Then if there is time, I can take 1 or 2 minutes. Or...
Actually, your time is up.
Okay, thank you. I would like to...
You can take 30 seconds to quickly sum it up.
Last.
I'm saying the session is for 1 hour and 25 minutes and we have 6 speakers. So we can have a little more time, maybe 10 minutes each, and still we'll have 20 minutes for discussion.
So there are 7 speakers.
Yeah.
There are 6, I think.
So basically, I would like to...
So you can take 10 minutes.
I would like to concentrate on this slide. Basically, earlier historical dogma was mainstay of amblyopia treatment was patching, and now initial treatment is optimal refractive correction, and timing of refractive correction and occlusion. Earlier it was simultaneous. Now occlusion can be prescribed subsequent to gain from optical treatment, and patching doses for moderate amblyopia and patching doses for severe amblyopia. Generally, more the better was the earlier concept. Now you start with 2 hours and can increase if it is required, and start with 6 hours in severe amblyopia, and in moderate cases 2 hours patching is effective. Atropine penalization, earlier it was used only for patching failure cases. Now it can be used as a first line treatment alternative to patching or patching failure cases. And another thing is there is a lot of interest in these games, though PEDIC studies they don't have found any role, and the levodopa as per recent studies is of no use, though older studies they have found it to be used as an adjunct